This is about to be the most concise and straight to the point funnel training that you've ever watched in your life. No sugarcoating, no BS, let's get straight to the point. But before we can discuss funnels and mechanisms, we need to discuss the current state of the market. And the truth is that it has never been harder to make money than right now in 2024. Running an agency in 2024 is completely different from running one in 2023. And these are the biggest changes that have happened. The first one is higher market sophistication. Second one is lower trust in the market. And third one is more competition. And the people that are most affected by these changes are newer agency owners, the beginners. And if you're a beginner, it probably feels extremely hard, almost impossible to get clients. And the truth is, that's because, not impossible, but it is way harder to get clients currently. Okay, because of these things, because of so much competition, and ultimately due to the lower barrier of entry to start an agency. Okay. And so what are the top 1% of agency owners doing that the rest of the 99% are missing out on? And why, the 80-20 rule especially gets applied to this circumstance. Okay. 80% of the clients are going towards 20% of the agencies. And so what is this upper percentile doing that everyone else is missing out on? Well, these people are focusing on three things. And these three things are AI. If they haven't been implementing it, they definitely are soon, because if you don't adapt, you're going to get left behind and your business is going to die. It's a biggest thing that's happening in the world right now. The second is they all have a personal brand. They're all creating content and building their brand. Okay, especially right now where there's no trust and everyone's making these crazy guarantees. It's so easy to run ads. Running ads is simply uploading creative and clicking a few buttons. No more having to click around on the ads manager and know a million different things. No, you just upload decent creative and it's gonna work. Okay, it's super low barrier to entry. And third is leverage. If you don't implement leverage, it's gonna take you 50 years to get rich. And what's the point? Okay, if you have leverage, you're gonna get there quickly. And so, what is the funnel that has all three of these principles designed into it? So this is what that funnel looks like. The first problem you're gonna have to solve when it comes to making money is how are you gonna get attention? How are you gonna get leads? Okay, the way I'd recommend that is to simply create content and also run ads. And the reason why I say this is don't do outreach. Outreach, if you're doing it in 2024, the KPIs are getting harder and harder to see results. So for example, in 2023, for every 100 messages you'd send, you'd probably get like a 10% open rate. And nowadays in 2024, you probably get a 1% open rate. Okay, and so the market's getting more and more competitive, and less people are fucking buying into this bullshit. And so leverage technology and not human labor. And so if you want to be super leveraged, create content and run ads, I highly recommend YouTube content. Create content that solves painful problems for your market. Don't worry about views. Views is simply a vanity metric. It doesn't matter. It's bullshit. And also run ads to pour gasoline on the fire, because content, especially if you're starting from zero, it's pretty slow. Okay, and so you need to build up a brand, but it does compound over time. Your audience compounds over time, and if you're not creating content, you will not survive. You need to create content. And so what you want to do, and ads is pretty easy. All it takes is a good creative. There's no more button clicking. There's no more, being a media buyer in the ads manager. All media buyer means nowadays is you make a good creative and you upload it to the ads manager. That's all it is. And so from there, what I'd recommend is you drive your traffic to a school community or some sort of, community mechanism or platform. Doesn't really matter. Probably school, I'd say, is good because they do make it easier for you to, convert your audience. But at the same time, there are so many marketers and it is getting pretty crowded. So it's a push and pull. But from there is you want to drive the traffic to your about page. Maybe you have a VSL where you provide the value proposition of the group. You explain what's inside the group and also make the group free. Especially if you're selling a high ticket product or service, make the group free. Do not think of the school as a way to make money. Instead, think of it as a way to pull all your leads in one place, centralize all your leads in one place, and provide value to them in one place. Okay. So you're simplifying your business. You're simplifying the client acquisition process. Because what you want to think about how Elon Musk built Tesla. He didn't start by first creating the cheap car at a high volume. What he did was he created a premium car at a low volume. And so what that means is especially if you're starting from zero, sell a high ticket product or service to a small amount of people. Okay, because it's lower operational stress and it's going to be you're going to make much more money in a much shorter period of time. And so from there, drive the traffic to a free community. Maybe have a VSL where you show them what you offer in the group. In this VSL, all essentially you want to do is you want to show them the value proposition. You want to make sure that the value outweighs the friction of them clicking and applying to sign up for your group. Okay, and so they sign up from your group. From here, they answer some membership questions, and these are the questions I recommend you ask. Okay, the first question is you want to collect their email so you can add them to an email list. and do email marketing. I'm not going to dive too deep into email cadences and how to make call to actions, but you want to have an email list. Just put them in your ecosystem. You also want to collect their phone number. So what you can do is, once you've collected their phone number, you can contact them within 5 minutes, ideally calling them, and even if you want to have an AI call them, if you want to be super leveraged. So collect their email, their phone number, and also qualify them. And a way you can do this is asking how much money they make, or if they're actually bought into whatever you're selling, if they're interested in taking the next step. Basically, all you want to do is collect their email, phone number, and qualify them. These are the 3 questions I'd recommend you ask. From there, once you've accepted them, and even if they don't provide the answers to all these, if they don't give you their email or if they're not qualified, still accept them into your group so you can still provide value to them, and maybe one day they will be qualified, and from there you can sell them then. So once you admit them to their group, they need to know what the next steps are to do, okay? And so this is where you have an intro post, and essentially in this intro post, all you do is you tell them to introduce themselves. They can make a separate post in the community saying, hey, this is my name, this is where I live, this is, they can even do something like take a picture of their workplace or something. They introduce themselves, and from there you guide them to either consume a specific piece of content or to start a conversation with them. And the way I've structured it is in my community is I have them create an introduction post, and once they've created that introduction post, they send me a specific keyword, and from there I send them an asset and I start a conversation with them to try to book them on a call. Okay, but once they've done that, then you just provide value in that group. Okay, and the way you want to provide value is you don't have to follow a specific cadence, or you can, and I'm going to walk you through a cadence that you can leverage, but you don't have to go like this Henry Ford approach to providing value in your community. You can just go with the flow, and the best communities are the ones where the members interact with each other. You have 2 types of communities. You have the ones where it's sort of this guru community, where it's one person, it's one authority figure in the community, where that person is the one providing all the value and nobody interacts with each other. And the other sort of communities are the ones where the members, that's the real value of the community, and they're the ones that are providing the value to each other, and they're interacting with each other. Okay, and the second one is probably a more valuable type of community, but either one works. Okay, and so if you do want to follow a cadence, just always remember that quality heavily outweighs quantity. If you spam your group members with just every day with some redundant shitty ass posts, then they're gonna leave. Okay, you're gonna have high churn, and so you want to prioritize quality over quantity. And what I'd recommend is maybe something like 2 or 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's a cadence that I follow. You don't have to follow it too hard, but if you do, you can follow that. And there's different types of content that you can post within the community. And I'm just going to walk you through this quickly. You can have a weekly value post. These are sort of longer, text formatted posts where you just walk them through either something you're dealing with or some sort of observation or an insight that you made, and you help audience overcome objections. Okay, you wanna see, and you should probably have a list, especially if you're hopping on a lot of sales calls, of what are the biggest objections that come up during sales, or whatever process you walk your prospects through. What are the biggest objections, and make content on each piece of on each objection, and post it in this community. So that way you're selling with your marketing. And from there, you can also have weekly question posts, just stir up engagement, and you can also have like little insightful posts, whether it's social proof, testimonials, tweets, questions, valuable videos, a paragraph, little sentence about something you're dealing with. These are all just ideas. Okay, don't take it too hard. These are all just ideas. Some things to keep in mind: that creating content that handles your prospects' objections for you, that's super important. Make a list of common objections. So for example, if you're a dating coach and one of the biggest objections that you have is, your prospects say, I don't have time to date, well, you can create a piece of content that says 16-minute dating idea to please partner. Okay, simple as that. And also, especially if you're making longer form type of posts, they're all evergreen. So keep your best performing content on like a Google Doc or an Excel sheet, and you can repurpose it and repost it every 6 months. Okay, so you have a database of the best performing content, and you can always reuse it. It's evergreen. Okay, and so that's a little tips when it comes to creating content in the community. And from there, every week you're gonna make a call to action, or every other week, you want to be very careful with the call to actions that you're making. If you make too many call to actions, if you're taking more than you're giving, then you're gonna burn your audience out, and everyone's gonna leave. Okay, the number one priority is you want to make sure that that consumption, that your members are consuming whatever you're putting out, and that they're getting value from it. Okay, you want to give more than you take. But when you do want to make a call to action, this is how you want to do it. Okay, you want to offer them a lead magnet and tell them to comment a specific keyword to get that lead magnet. And whoever comments that specific keyword, you message them, asking them a few questions. You qualify them. You send them the asset, and from there you book them on a call. Okay, and you want to do that about twice, 3 times a month, you want to make sure you're not burning your audience out. Okay, now let's talk about conversion. How are you actually going to convert the people that join your community? Okay, and so the first thing I want to talk about is a setter. And I forgot to mention this, but every person that joins your community, you should reach out to them within 5 minutes. And in school, on the school platform, you do have an option in the settings, you can turn it on, that it automatically sends a message to everybody in your community, okay, as soon as they join. And so what I'd recommend is you turn that on, and basically just spark up a conversation, qualify them, and try to book them on a call, okay? And I'd highly recommend you hire a setter for that. You want to be leveraged. And if you really want to get super leveraged, you can host a webinar, okay? And so whenever you think about sales, you either have a traditional one-on-one sales call with a prospect, but you can also host a one-to-many sales call. And what a one-to-many sales call is you announce it in your community that you're either hosting a workshop, a webinar, a free live training, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same shit. Basically, it's a live call where you provide a fuck ton of value, and then at the end, you make an offer and you pitch them on, some sort of crazy offer or something you want to sell them on, okay? And so that's a one-to-many sales call. It's much more leverage for the same, 60, 1 hour, 2 hour, you're getting 10x, 20x, 100x the results that you would get from a one-on-one sales call, since you have so many more people on that call. Okay, and so that you can do a webinar, which I'd highly recommend once you do get a specific threshold of people in your community. And then also you have the sales asset, which I've talked about, is you make a call to action, tell people to comment a specific keyword, and then from there you send a sales asset and you spark up a conversation like that. The bottom line is that you're getting people on a call, whether it's a one-on-one call or a one-to-many call, you're getting people on a call, you're providing value on the call, and you're selling them. Okay, so when it comes to the actual structure of the sales calls, I'm not too much of a believer of, reading a word for word script and going from this phase of the sales call to this phase. I just recommend, you find out why they're on the call, see what problems they're having, see, who they worked with in the past, what have they tried, what's worked, what hasn't. And then, if they're the right person, if they're qualified for your service, you offer them and you see if they buy or not. Obviously then they're gonna have objections. You have to overcome those objections. But I believe, I'm a big believer in your marketing due to selling for you. Okay, and so then, at the bottom of this whole funnel, you have a client. And I'm about to talk about AI in just a little, but this is the funnel you need to be leveraging in 2024, 2025 because of the 3 main factors that we talked about earlier, okay? The levels of competition, the market sophistication, and the trust levels have, just gone crazy. Okay, and so this funnel has AI, which I'm going to show you the offer which you want to be leveraging. If you are not selling AI, if you are not implementing AI in your business, you're going to struggle. Okay, and over the next 3 or 5 years, your business is going to disappear. Okay, you need to start selling AI. And I'm going to show you exactly how to think about it. But so you want to be leveraging AI, also your personal brand, creating content, and also leverage. Okay, creating content is extremely leveraged, and everything you need to do is leveraged. Hosting a webinar is leveraged, the one-to-many sales calls. And so with every little aspect, every component of your business, you want to have leverage implemented. And so a way you want to think about your business is a system, a machine. The different components of your business is your offer, your lead gen, your appointment setting, your sales, and your fulfillment. And you always want to scale everything up until something breaks, until you have a constraint. You're always going to have a constraint in your business, and you always need to be deconstraining your business, debottlenecking your business. That's where all your attention should go. Okay, because that's all business is. It's a system. At the top of the system, you have an offer, and at the bottom of the system, you have somebody that's gone through your service. Okay, and so before I start talking about the AI offers and how to think about that, I want you to understand something, and it's simplicity. Nowadays, you have so many people creating content about, different funnels, different offers, and it's all self-sustaining, magical, fucking revolutionary. If it's so complex to the point where you can't even understand it, don't do it, okay? A big Warren Buffett quote, dude's worth 10, 11 figures. A big quote is, don't invest in something you don't understand. Do not invest your time or your money in something you do not understand. Simple scales, fancy fails. And Elon Musk has a famous algorithm, a workflow that he walks through. I highly recommend you pick up his autobiography by Walter Isaacson. So much value. But one of the main things that Elon Musk has, why he's so successful, is over the decades that he's ran his companies, he's come up with this workflow, for systems or products to make it as efficient and and as effective as possible. Step one is to make the requirements less dumb. Whatever the requirements are, you want to make them less dumb. Actually question everything. Step two is delete parts or processes. Even if you think it's required or necessary, delete it, okay? And you can always add it back. And he said if you're not at least adding 10%, 20% of the parts or processes that you deleted back, then you have not deleted enough. And then you want to simplify and optimize the design. Okay, and then you want to accelerate the cycle time, and then you want to automate it. Okay, and this is a framework, and I started leveraging this when it comes to building systems and specific developing products and all that, and it is extremely effective. Okay, this is designed by Elon Musk himself, and this is how you simplify, accelerate, and in the end eventually automate specific systems and processes. Now, let's talk about AI offers, okay? And I want to debunk the biggest myth when it comes to selling AI offers. You do not have to be some sort of wizard at coding, some computer scientist in like an evil laboratory, like connecting workflows and like AI. Like, look, if you truly want to obtain freedom, the leverage should be your main goal. Not learning all these workflows and all these little automations and connecting Zapier to VAPI with 11 Labs. Look, you should hire somebody who's dedicated their life, who spent all their time learning that. Your main goal should be the one who identifies the trends, solves the problems, leveraging the right AI mechanisms, and being efficient as possible and being as leveraged as possible. Okay, and so there's two options you can go down when it comes to choosing what you want to focus your attention on. Okay, and so what should you worry about? So if you're broke, the three things you should worry about are specific mechanisms and learning all these little mechanisms and tools and how to connect this automation to this automation. You should also worry about the easy opportunities. So the only things you're selling are things that are easy to sell and that everybody else is selling. And also you should only worry about yourself and do the stuff that's easiest for yourself. Okay, and that's how you stay broke. If you want to be rich, the things you should worry about is how to obtain leverage. So how to hire people who do the work for you, how to do one action that gets multiplied by 1,000 times. And also you want to be worried about the hard opportunities. You want to be doing things that not a lot of people are doing and can do. The harder the vehicle you are in, the harder the opportunity, the less people that are doing it, and the easier it's going to be to make money. Okay, so the harder opportunities are actually easier to make money with. And then also you want to be worried about others. You want to be worried about your customer. What problems are they having? What is the most painful problem that they're having? Not the most easiest problem to solve. What is the most painful problem that you can solve? So you can get paid disproportionately for the solution that you provide. And so here's the correct framework for crafting an AI offer. First is you want to select the market. I've already made a video on how to do this. Make sure they have money. Make sure you can find them online. And then you want to look at, within that market, you want to look at what are the top 1% of people in that market doing. Okay, so for example, if I select chiropractors, what are the top 1% of chiropractors doing that everybody else is missing out on? Okay, and then understand the gap between the top 1% and the rest of the people in the market. So you want to understand, why are they the top 1%? What are the specific things they're doing that everyone else is missing out on? From there, you want to create a solution that solves every problem in that gap. And so you have the top 1% and then you have the bottom 99%, and there's a gap in between them. And you want to bridge that gap with a sequence of mechanisms. Okay, and that's your offer. You want to bridge that gap with an AI infrastructure, an AI scaling system. And so look at every mechanism in your solution and research if there's a better AI alternative. And so you lay out every problem and you lay out every possible mechanism for solving those problems. And for every mechanism, I want you to go out there and do research, watch a bunch of videos, and see if there's more efficient and better AI alternatives for solving that offer. Too many people, they first find an AI mechanism or some sort of AI, chatbot, and they start from there, and then they find the problem after they found an AI mechanism. No, that's backwards. You first need to find the problem and reverse engineer the problem to find an AI mechanism that solves that problem. Okay, and so what is leverage? Leverage simply means they get more for what you put in. If you don't have leverage, it will take you literally 50 years to make $1 million. And this is an example that I came up with, but if you have two people that are racing to a finish line and the first person is running to the finish line while the second person is driving a car to the finish line, the first person has to put in more effort and energy to reach the finish line in 30 seconds, while the second person simply pushes the gas pedal, simply just moves their foot a little bit, pushes the gas pedal with their foot to reach the same destination in 5 seconds. Okay, faster than the other person. The second person is in a better vehicle. They cover more distance while using less effort and energy. They also reach the destination faster. Why? Because they're in a faster vehicle, a better vehicle that requires them to put in less effort to get to the destination more effortlessly, more quickly, and in a more leveraged way, because they don't have to physically move all their muscles to jog there and get, sweat by the time they're at the end. No. They just push their foot and they're at the end of the destination. I hope that makes sense. And so if you ever obtain leverage, you will be the guy running, if you never obtain leverage, you will be the guy running to the finish line. Get access to capital, so selling your offer, then reinvest that capital into things that give you leverage. And so what I recommend, if you're just starting out, I'd recommend you follow this framework, create a solution, map it out on lucid.app, I think. So go to this website, map it out, and present it to the market. Start booking calls and hop on sales calls. And I wouldn't recommend, go crazy, hire fulfillment team and everything. You don't need to do that. Okay. In the beginning, the only thing you should be worried about is sales and marketing. In the beginning, you don't have a product, you have a hypothesis. And so present that hypothesis to the market. And from there, once you get money, you invest that money into leverage. Okay. You become a capital allocator. And so what are the different forms of leverage? You have code, capital, labor, and media. And all your money, all your investment, all your time and effort should be invested into these 4 things. So please understand that it's not about all the mechanisms. It's not about, which AI tools are you, that's important. And, obviously you can get way more efficient AI tools, if you use option 1 over option 2 or vice versa. That stuff does matter to an extent. But what matters more than that is if you have leverage and if you're in the right vehicle, solving the right problem for the right avatar. Okay. And so, it doesn't really matter the sales structure or, you learning sales as the founder. What does matter is if you are in the right opportunity. Okay. Because you being in opportunity A versus opportunity B or vice versa is the difference between you taking 1 month or 1 year or 10 years to get rich or to make money or whatever your goal is. Okay. And so that's the video. I hope you got value out of it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.